us for this important conversation with the leadership of the San Mateo Community College District. Over the next hour, we'll be talking about a lot of things relevant to the community colleges, but particularly the free college program, which was really pioneered here in San Mateo County. And we'll be talking about an update of the status and progress and successes of that program, as well as the many opportunities available at all three of our colleges for students of every age and stage of life. And although today's town hall will focus on the San Mateo County Community College District, I would also like to shout out the other two districts that I represent in Santa Clara County, Foothill, De Anza, and West Valley Mission. All three of these offer exceptional educational opportunities, equipping our region's students with the tools, support, and resources that they need to thrive. California's community colleges are an extraordinary resource. They offer affordability, extensive career training, strong transfer pathways to four-year universities, especially our UCs and CSUs, and comprehensive support services. They're an essential engine of social mobility for individuals and a major driver of our state's economy. I know firsthand just how impactful San Mateo Community College District can be. In 2019, 2020, I had the privilege of serving as an adjunct professor at one of our San Mateo Community Colleges, leading workforce development and as well as entrepreneurship workshops, both for students as well as for adult members of the community as well. And I saw up close the dedication of our students and the transformative power of these campuses. And of course, our community colleges are about much more than just academics. They are also hubs of cultural, artistic, and athletic excellence. And I want to give a special shout out to the CSM Bulldogs. I was there on Saturday as they secured their fourth consecutive Northern California championship. And last year, actually, the team came when they won the state championship, and they came to the Capitol, and we had a whole team up in the gallery. We had a bunch of them on the floor with us, and it was a great celebration of not just their athletic achievements, but also the tremendous graduation rate and or completion rate and grade point averages of those students. So on Saturday, they achieved a decisive 38-7 victory over the Modesto Pirates. Here in San Mateo County, I authored a bill in 2022. And with that, community college is now free for most students. We'll talk about all the details of the program. But attending college overall has never been more expensive, and young people fresh out of high school after years of hard work often face overwhelming financial decisions. Should they take on loans? Should they work longer hours? Should they live at home longer, even defer college altogether? The free college program at San Mateo Community College District removes many of these barriers and makes the decision to pursue a high-quality education far easier. And as we'll talk about, and for most of these students, they're also getting support, not just with the tuition, but we're talking about books, transportation, student fees, all kinds of support. And the numbers could not be clear. For every dollar invested in California's community colleges, students gain $5 in increased lifetime earnings, as taxpayers see a net benefit of $2 through higher tax revenue, increased business output. The average community college graduate with an associate degree will earn $11,100 more dollars per year than someone with only a high school diploma. We also know that every student's path is different. Some enroll right after high school, some balance college with one or more jobs, others return to pursue a degree after time in the workforce or after raising a family. Whatever the journey, the opportunities throughout our community college district are extensive and life-changing. I want to take a moment now, before I continue, to introduce, let's call him our Presidente, the president of the College of San Mateo, Manuel Perez. We'd like to actually make an announcement in Spanish in terms of the closed captioning for this presentation here. President Perez.
Thank you so much. Muy buenas noches a todos. En caso de necesitar traducción en español, los subtítulos en español están disponibles al hacer clic en el botón CC en el menú de controles de su ventana de Zoom. Seleccione Mostrar subtítulos, luego haga clic en la pequeña flecha a un lado de ese botón. Seleccione Español y después haga clic en Guardar. Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you, Presidente Perez. We'll hear more from you later. Um, I'm honored to be joined by leaders of the San Mateo County Community College District here today. Board Member John Pimentel, Chancellor Melissa Moreno, Cañada College President Kim Lopez, College of San Mateo President Dr. Manuel Alejandro Perez, and Skyline College President Dr. Nathan Carter. We will also be joined by Dr. Aaron McVean, Vice Chancellor of Education Services and Planning, who I've got a chance to work with now for many years, who will walk us through how the free college program works and how students qualify. And with that, I'd like to begin our discussion by introducing Board Trustee John Pimentel. He'll be followed by Chancellor Moreno and Vice Chancellor Aaron McVean. Trustee Pimentel, I consider really, in many ways, the father of free college. This is a passionate project of his, and really the guiding force with us. And he'll give us some of the background and history first. And he's also the successful product of California community colleges, where he went before going on to other higher education and then ultimately Harvard Business School. Trustee Pimentel, please take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Becker. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for your leadership and consistent support of the district. Josh had asked me to talk a little bit about the origin of free college and how it came to pass at our district. And for me, it was a very personal thing. I was a first-generation student in college, growing up in Stockton, California, and attended San Joaquin Delta Community College. And back in the mid '80s, when I went there, community college was free. There was an effort or a budget crisis in 1985, I believe it was, that led to a decision by the legislature and the governor to implement the first tuition. It was an enrollment fee of $5 a unit. And at the time, we thought as student leaders that was something that was going to let the camel's nose under the tent and ultimately grow in a way that could restrict access. So we fought against this. We marched on Sacramento. We organized all the different community college student associations from different colleges. And of course, we lost the battle. And tuition was implemented. Over the years, it did in fact grow to the point where tuition under state law now for every one of the 73 community college districts around the state is $46 a unit. And if you look at that on a basis for a full year's tuition, as well as the cost of textbooks, technology, and transportation, not even to mention housing, the cost can be $1,500, $2,000 a year, which still seems like a great bargain, but is in fact a deterrent for people to take that first step, especially those of limited means and who haven't understood or been acculturated to the value of higher education and their lifetime earning potential. So when I decided to run for the community college district board, I made this a pledge that I wanted to try and investigate whether or not we could make college free again. And as I dove into it, the staff at the district explained that the state law had persisted, and that we weren't really authorized to offer free college, even though our local property taxes support our community college budget of $270 plus million a year. Tuition that was charged from residents was only about less than $10 million a year. And over time, we had seen in the previous decade and a half, enrollment declining significantly. It was down over 30% in that period. And so sat down with Dr. McVean and some of the leaders of the district and devised an approach that required us to actually go change the law. My first call was to Senator Josh Becker, and I asked him if he would carry the bill. We ran a bill the first year with the idea of making free college permissive statewide. Any district could choose to reduce the amount of tuition they charge. And as it turns out, that did not succeed in the legislature. We stalled while going through the process. And so we took another swing at it the second year. And Senator Becker, thank you for your leadership and your insight. We decided to make it a district-only bill, just focus on San Mateo County, make it a 5-year pilot experiment to see how it would impact enrollment and student outcomes. And we brought on Senator Becker's colleagues at the time, the two assembly representatives from our county, Kevin Mullen and Mark Berman, and we ran the bill again. And with that more limited focus, looking just at San Mateo County, we were able to pass through the legislature without a single no vote in any of the policy or fiscal committees or floor votes. And the law was signed by the governor in late 2022 to become effective in January of 2023. So that's really the history of how we got to where we are and the motivation behind it. I was delighted to be a part of it, but it really was a team effort. Literally, the entire community of our community college district supported the effort. The teachers unions, the employee unions, the faculty all got behind it. Students rallied in support of the bill to try and get the governor, to encourage the governor to sign it. We had a campaign where we asked city councils and chambers of commerce to write the legislature and support the bill. And so it really was a community-wide effort. And in fact, we have to recognize that free college isn't really free. Somebody's paying for it, and it's the generosity and the long-term vision of our taxpayers in San Mateo County, who have supported the district with bond measures and with property taxes to help us build one of the best districts in the state, arguably the best district in the state, not just in football, but in academics and job placement and in other metrics of comparison. So that's really the history of it. The county came together, our political leadership in the legislature charged forward with the effort, and our entire college community has been enthusiastically supportive of the effort. I'll actually turn it over to Chancellor Moreno to tell some stories about the impact that community college has had on some of our individual students.
Thank you, Trustee Pimentel. Thank you, Senator Becker, for hosting us in this town hall. It's been an amazing ride to be part of the free college campaign and to see it put to use and to see the impact that it's had on our students. And I would say, you mentioned, John, the precipitous decline in enrollment and what the impact free college has had is an increase in 24% over the 2 years that we implemented free college. And so what we've proven is that modest $46 a unit is actually very much a barrier for our students. And so more than 33,000 students have taken advantage of free college, thanks to Senator Becker and SB 893 and everybody else who was involved in getting this off the ground. About 70% of our students every semester are supported by free college. And at the same time, more than half of those students are first-generation college students. And so the impact of this, I think, is greater than any equity efforts we've made to bring students in from our most marginalized communities. And so I often say that this This is the most impactful equity initiative we could have done, and it has moved the needle more than any other equity initiative that we have tried to get our first generation students coming into the college system in our impacted surrounding communities. And so I always like to say that this is not only transforming students' lives, but it's having a generational impact and impact on the communities that they live in. We have so many beautiful stories of the impact that our free college has had on students. And one student in particular who is a justice impacted student, and we've built student stories on our website, but he was part of a student panel on our opening day, and he was listening to his student colleagues who were talking about the transformation of free college. And this particular student says, I hear my student peers say that free college has transformed their lives, but for me, it saved my life. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Erin McVean, who is our Vice Chancellor of Educational Services and Planning, that will help you understand our program and eligibility and all of those good things. Erin?
Great. Thank you, Chancellor Marino. I'm thrilled for this opportunity just to share information with our San Mateo County community about how you can take advantage of free college. Like Trustee Pimentel, like Chancellor Marino, I myself went to community college in California, went to Shasta College. And so it's just a phenomenal opportunity to share with everyone how you too can come and join the colleges of our district. You just heard, so far free college has supported tens of thousands of students in San Mateo County, and we want to support more. So in order to qualify, first piece is that you have to live in San Mateo County. And so that's the most basic. And from there, if students have an educational goal of pursuing a certificate, a degree, or transfer to university, then they can qualify for free college. And so those are the basic requirements. And with that, we call it our level 1 of free college. It pays for the enrollment fee, that $46 per unit that's set by the state, and free college will pay for that. Now, if students have a financial need, they fill out the FAFSA, they fill out the California DREAM Act, and they have financial need, then what's available is what we call level 2 free college supports. So that not only pays for that enrollment fee, it takes care of any other fees associated with registration, like our student body fee, but then it also provides additional support for what we call the 3 T's, textbooks, transportation, and technology. There's a little bit different level support for part-time students or full-time students. So we're always trying to encourage, if possible, that full-time enrollment. And that's when the maximum support from our free college initiative is available to students. So overall, thanks to Senator Becker, the legislation that he authored, the district is currently supporting a student's total cost of attendance in this pilot program. And as Melissa said, the impact has been just tremendous across all the communities that we serve as a district. And so looking forward to continuing to bring in students and support them with free college. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for going through that. If there's any questions, if people need, because it was a little fast, if there's anything that we need repeated, please let us know. There's a Q&A tab, and we will get that. The panelists will see that information, so we can have that and just answer any other questions. But yeah, it's always fun to see, in this role, we do lots of things we think are going to help, and then but you really don't know until you actually try to see the number of people that have benefited from free college here in San Mateo County is tremendous, and it's thanks to all of you. So as you've heard, the implementation of free college in San Mateo County came under the authorization of a bill that I wrote, SB 893, and it has been transformative for our students. So today, but that was a pilot program, as Trustee Pimentel explained the history. So today I'm pleased to announce that I'll be introducing a bill in January to make free college permanent in San Mateo County Community College District. You'll hear more about this in coming months, but I want to take this opportunity to share with everyone that I'm deeply committed to this program and to the students who depend on it. I will be writing a bill right now as you're working on right now to make free college permanent in San Mateo County. Now we're going to hear from each of the San Mateo County Community College presidents, who will just talk a little bit about some of their programs and initiatives on their individual campuses. And then we'll open it up to a Q&A and have some questions that were already submitted that we'll probably start with. But again, you're willing to enter them here if you are watching with us live. We'll be starting off with Kenyatta College President Kim Lopez. After her, College of San Mateo County President, and then we'll turn to Skyline. President Lopez, go ahead.
Great. Thank you so much, Senator Becker, not only for the introduction, but also for your unwavering support for making free community college both accessible and achievable in our community, and also for the great news that we're moving forward with making it permanent. So I get to share with you some of the impact that free community college has had specifically at the communities that we serve here in South San Mateo County, and also talk about some of the other initiatives that we're working on with our partners throughout South San Mateo County. So at Kenyatta College, we're seeing the impact of free college clearly reflected in our enrollment data, which shows increased access and reduced financial barriers and a stronger enrollment momentum. So what does that mean? So since the launch of the Free College Initiative, we have seen a 32% increase of enrollments from the East Palo Alto residents. We've seen a 51% increase from Belhaven and North Fair Oaks residents, and a 36% increase from our Redwood City residents. And nearly 75% of these students are benefiting from our Free College Initiative. I think this is amazing. And we've also been able to strengthen our partnerships through our Living the Promise MOU. And this MOU is with Sequoia Union High School District, with our Ravenswood School District, with San Francisco State, and with CSU East Bay. And this ensures that students know early, clearly, and confidently that college is within their reach. One of our key tactics is that we send out admission letters to all Sequoia Union High School District juniors and seniors every year. So this past spring, Kenyatta issued letters stating, "Congratulations, you've been accepted to Kenyatta College," to over 2,200 seniors and 2,500 juniors. Also, in partnership with the City of East Palo Alto, more than 30 Kenyatta College banners now line Bay Road. And we're celebrating through these banners our alumni who are from East Palo Alto, and we're also elevating awareness of the free college program. We hope in 2026 to hang more banners throughout Belhaven and Menlo Park. So I'll end with thanking you again, Senator Becker, and thanking all of our community partners. Truly, your commitment makes this work possible and ensures that every student has a clear, supported pathway to college and to economic mobility and opportunity. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague, Dr. Manuel Alejandro Perez, our Presidente, who serves for the College of San Mateo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kim, President Lopez. It's always refreshing to hear and be reminded of what we're doing in our own backyard, in our own neighborhoods. So it's my pleasure to bring to you the spirit of College of San Mateo. Now join me. It was the year 2000. Much younger Manuel was taking his first steps onto the Cosumnes River College campus in South Sacramento. I was first introduced to the Board of Governors fee waiver, my first foray into reduced fees for college. And this was a critical point of access for me as a first-generation oldest son from a migrant and immigrant mixed status household. I can have my fees reduced. And this was a game changer. This was in the year 2000, and we're talking about reduced fees at that time. Fast forward to 2022, I'd like to read for you a quote from one of our CSM alumnus who is now attending San Jose State University. This is from Celeste Zapata. Quote, "As a lifelong coastside resident and community member, I was relieved to learn that I qualified for free college. This opportunity allowed me to remain close to my family, which was so important to me. It spared my parents the financial burden of tuition and made pursuing higher education far more accessible. I love my Coastside community, and I'm deeply grateful that I was able to complete my CSM college education without having to leave the place that I love. Not only was I able to stay in a community I had, but I was also able to become part of the CSM community and have access to all their resources and tools. I wouldn't be where I am today without free college. Now, CSM has been serving the needs of the community for over a century. We are the community's college. So from the Bay to the coast, CSM has been an engine of this social and economic mobility for the region. And we've had so many amazing opportunities to highlight the impact of the college in the region. But I want to take just a quick moment to highlight the sparkle that is our renewed and strengthened efforts and focus on the coast side in our region, just 20 miles west of our main campus. And we opened CSM Coastside in downtown Half Moon Bay in fall of 2024. Now, it was through a few years, a couple, in fact, of research and community engagement that really brought CSM back into a physical facility after about 10 years of having been in downtown Half Moon Bay. Some long-term Coastside residents still remember this time, and now we're back in a new way. We are re-engaging with our coastal communities in exciting ways with our Latinx, Spanish-speaking, Chinese, and Filipinx familias, with our migrant and seasonal farm working community, with our older, retired, and lifelong learner households, and with our emerging professionals, entrepreneurs, and adult learners. I'll just share two quick things. On community engagement, we've hosted various opportunities to meet and connect with our partners and familias, including a multilingual town hall earlier this year. We learned that our coastal community wanted more support with college application processes, including how to apply to the college and for financial aid. So to date, we've offered 26 different workshops in bilingual services, weekly financial aid workshops, application and registration workshops, and hosted over 20 different community events. We've also focused on expanding the curriculum on the coast side. So I'll make this brief to say all of our courses are focused on degree, certificate attainment, transfer, or skills training. We've started with 4 courses and 45 students this spring. We're wrapping this fall with 6 courses and 129 student enrollments. This coming spring, we're now offering 9 courses, including ESL, creative writing, Pilates, fire tech, oceanography, intro to business management, film. These are just to name a few. These are courses taught by professors who are also living there on the coast side. Free college is an equity-centered intervention for social and economic mobility for the coast side. But you don't have to take my word for it. I'll leave you with this one final quote from another Coastside and CSM alum, Kendrick Agustin, who's now at San Jose State University. Quote, "Growing up in Half Moon Bay on the coast side, learning that I could attend CSM without paying tuition completely changed what college looked like for me. Instead of worrying about whether my family could afford it, I was able to focus on choosing classes that interested me and plan for my future. Staying local meant I could keep helping out at home and stay connected to the community that I've always been a part of. The chance to start college without a big cost made the path to higher education feel real and reachable. It's something I'm genuinely thankful for because it let me begin my goals right here in the place that feels like home." So with that, I'd love to share the mic with one of the newest members of our district leadership team who's leading our Skyline College community. I'm going to turn my lights back on and welcome Dr. Nathan Carter.
Thank you, President Perez, and thank you, Senator Becker, and to everyone watching. I am new, but I am so inspired by the power of free college, without question. As president of Skyline College, I just want to take a few moments to speak about the impact of free college that I've seen on the communities that we serve. And I think especially Daly City, Daly City is, I think, nearly 100,000 citizens strong, right? One of the most diverse and multilingual cities in the state of California, last I checked. And it also happens to be one of the places where most of the Skyline College student population comes from, in addition to a lot of other communities here in North County. These are communities, I think, where the high living costs collide with high aspirations, right? This is a place where families work hard, often across generations, to build better futures for everyone. And I know as a former community college student myself in California, that I can remember ways that tuition stood between families, and the education that they wanted to change their lives. And that's still true, or was true, before free college. Right? Tuition, I think, was a barrier in some ways that could keep a young person in Daly City from taking that first step into a college classroom. It was a barrier in some ways to some parents in Pacifica or South San Francisco to delay reskilling because maybe their rent was due or they had a bill that they needed to pay. And it made some of our most diverse populations and friends from multilingual households and more wonder if college was truly meant for them. That's something that stands out to me about the power of free college, because it changed all of that for all of those different populations in Daly City and beyond. It sends, I think, a clear message, right? And it's something that we say here at Skyline College often. We say, you belong here, your future is worth investing in, and at Skyline, we're here to help you rise. And we're seeing the results, right? It's not just talk. Even though I'm new to the district and new to Skyline College, what I can tell you without question, friends, is that students are enrolling even more, full-time and part-time, because of free college here at Skyline College, returning to finish what they started in some cases, and recognizing that college isn't a distant dream at all. It's an open door. And at Skyline College, that open door is very specific around leading towards not just enrollment, but transfer to our four-year partners and access to where we know the future of work is going in San Mateo County. And I'm very excited and proud as the president of Skyline College with my fellow teaching faculty, managers, classified professionals, at the work that we're doing and the programs that are here that are very much aligned with innovation and engaging where the future of work is going. So forgive me if I don't have as many student stories to tell in my first few months, but I do know that this program is transformational. And I'm so excited to hear, Senator Becker, that it's not the end of free college, but really just the beginning and more. And so at Skyline College, we see the value, and our students see it each and every day from all walks of life. And I'm happy to have a continued conversation with everybody today.
Excellent. Well, we have a lot of questions that were submitted, and we'll see how many we have time for. So I'll just start out. There's a bunch of ones that are more, I would say, logistical, for lack of a better word. And so,
Senator Becker, can I make one other strategic point about free college?
Sure.
Before we dive into the detailed discussion, I think it's important to remember that, first of all, the point I made that the taxpayers are actually paying for free college. And our board of trustees actually made a policy choice to allocate money to this purpose for this policy goal. And that's only possible with the cooperation and collaboration of our faculty, staff, and general employees, because at the end of the day, there is a limited amount of financial capacity that the district has, and it's important that we recognize that all those groups are with it. Once those students actually start at the college, who take as we heard from the presidents, who take that step to join the college community, it really is up to our outstanding faculty and staff to bring them in, to engage with them, to make them feel welcomed, and to give them that special magic that a community college faculty person brings to the table, which can't be quantified. So despite the fiscal impact of free college, there's also that element of our outstanding faculty that that brings these students along and helps them achieve their vision. And I don't want that to go without stating. It's not just financial. It's also about the ethos of the people who choose to dedicate their lives and careers to our community college mission.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions that was asked online. I love free college. Would like to hear how colleges are engaging new students to get off to a strong start, be engaged to make progress towards their goals, have support through their path. So I think you really just addressed that one. So I'm going to check it off the list. That was great. And also somebody asked, how is free college funded? Will we have to pay more taxes? And I think you answered that question as well, but do you want to be explicit about that, answering that question, Trustee Pimentel?
Sure. In fact, I'll defer to Chancellor Moreno if she'd like to take it. But the fact is, there's been no increase in property taxes or bonding capacity that's funded free college. It's out of our existing property tax basis that all those costs are assumed. Chancellor Moreno?
Yes, thank you, Trustee Pimentel. So it's really sort of a budgeting exercise and really reflecting our mission to make free college accessible. And so our Board of Trustees has authorized us to set aside funding to fund the free college expenses. And this year we set aside $12.5 million to do that. And so I see it as a mission-driven budget line item. And so that's a decision that we made, and we made free college a priority because the impact has been so incredible. And so it's really the decision of the Board of Trustees to align the budget with the mission. And this is one of the things that we've chosen to do. And it has not impacted the college budgets. In fact, the allocation to the college sites have continued to increase over the last few years. And so it's just it's a budget decision.
Great. It's very important that came up. So someone asked, to define free college, obviously, Vice Chancellor McPhee, you did that, but do you want to say again, so for any resident for that tier 1 level, does any resident in San Mateo, oops, sorry, my computer's not on. Does any resident in San Mateo County qualify?
Yeah, with few restrictions. For example, international students don't qualify for free college, but anybody else who's living in San Mateo County, and if they have an educational goal, again, degree, certificate, transfer, then we cover the enrollment fee, that $46 per unit with free college. And then I saw another question, and I see your question about the level 2 supports. For level 2, right, for students who have financial need based on filling out the FAFSA, California Dream Act, we do ask that they enroll in a minimum of 6 units to receive that next level of support. Those 3 T's: textbooks, transportation, technology. But right now, as the Chancellor indicated, we've set aside the general fund budget to be able to support all students if they qualify for level 1 or level 2 supports in order to give them access.
Excellent. Someone asked, let's see, about completion. I think you discussed this a little bit, of completion and graduation rates for free college compared to program enrollees compared to non-program enrollees. Well, I guess, again, 70% are, most are getting free college under the tier 1 or tier 2. Any comments about completion rates?
Sure. Thanks, Chancellor. Happy to. And we're highlighting this on our Free College Impact website. Now that we've had free college for just over 2 years, we've started to see the real completion data. Another question was about persistence. So first of all, we've seen students persisting with us because of the removal of that financial barrier. And that was the biggest initial impact. And now we're seeing completion. So students receiving free college are completing their degrees and certificates at about 3 times the rate of other students same education goal, right? They have the education goal for certificate, degree, or transfer, but for whatever reason, they don't qualify for free college. It might be from out of the county. Students who are being supported by free college are finishing at least 3 times the rate of their comparable peers. And so that's part of, another impetus to make this permanent is really we're seeing that impact on completion as well.
Senator Becker, you're muted.
I know. Sorry, I'm gathering data while we're here. Some of these other questions. So I'm going to go with a non-free college question. This is from Catherine, who wants to commend the work that the MESA program, which I'm a big fan of, the Math, Engineering, Science Achievement programs have. Said we need more local students transferring in STEM majors. Can you share more information about MESA programs? Who wants to take that one?
I'd love Dr. Perez. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Marino. I'm happy to just share a few points. So the MESA program is our gems in the district and throughout the state, really, in our system. It stands for the Mathematics, Engineering, Science, and Achievement Program. And what it really is set up to do is provide targeted support, both on the academic resource side, providing learning experiences to really prepare students for what would be a rigorous STEM coursework, calculus-based STEM coursework at 4-year institutions. So it also provides financial support and makes sure that students who are under-resourced have access to these opportunities early. CSM, as an example, got its first grant in 2017. And I do want to highlight a very special element as I went out to our MESA director and I said, you know what, give me a quick fact on MESA and CSM. And, we're going to be engaged in this town hall. And she said, aha. We had actually worked with the senator before and had actually had a really amazing conversation with him in April of 2021. They remembered exactly the conversation, and that was a conversation in which our local MESA directors were actively advocating for an expansion of funding to move from some 30 plus colleges to now more than 90 colleges with MESA programs in the state and have deeper pockets and funds to give to students as part of the program. So your guidance, which my MESA director very explicitly remembers, was critical in getting legislation passed to expand those resources, which ultimately goes back to our students and helps our region to understand the impact of STEM education, starting through the community college as a pathway to transfer.
Love it. Love it. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. I remember that conversation. I actually remember it as well, but because it's a tremendous program. Because I was serving on the state, I served 7 years on the state workforce development board, right? And that ties directly into that question as well. Karen asked about current plans to build housing for students. And I did a separate town hall on teacher housing, and we talked about how the San Mateo Community College District was one of the leaders um, in this effort and building teacher housing. Many years ago, we had a success story for a teacher who lived in there and then bought a home and actually became president in our system. So, we're very close on some funding for some student housing. Chancellor, do you want to update on that?
Yes, I'd love to. So you're right. We have employee housing at all 3 campuses, which is very unusual statewide. And that has been a very successful program, helping our employees save money for future housing purchases. And now we're very excited to have been successful in getting state funding to help us build student housing. We got approximately 56 million from the state, and that requires us to come up with some match. And so we are working with the state. And in our board meeting tomorrow night, we actually have we went out for a bid, and we have a successful bid process and a contractor ready to be approved with a planned breaking ground for student housing to build 314 beds. At the San Mateo campus, but it's district-wide housing. And so we're starting at the CSM campus, but it's going to allow for many of our students to be able to have a place to live. I think the stat is about 70% of students statewide are housing insecure. And so this is a real problem, and we're happy to be able to build housing on our land at CSM to help our district-wide students. And so we're engaged in lots of talks about how this is going to go down and all the resources that will be available for our students in the housing complex. And I think we're also going to be adding a shuttle that will go from campus to campus. In case you have students that are students at Skyline or students at Kenyatta, they'll be able to swirl on a shuttle from their home campus and have housing at CSM no matter where they're a student. So we're really, really excited to be breaking ground sometime in the spring. We haven't set a date yet, probably February.
That is super exciting. I know we were working with we're so close at the end of last year after getting that $56 million, but I know it's been the cost of everything uh, has been soaring. So that's if we're actually going to break ground next February, that is fantastic. Um, so a couple of things here. One question, we got a question on the well, someone just asked, will the rents for students be at the level that unhoused students can access these beds? Who will pay for the cost of maintaining these units? Just quick on the student housing question.
Yeah, so the rents will be well below market and connected to the county index. But since we own the land, it will be a self-supporting program. So the low rents from the students will actually help to pay for the housing and all of the supports that go with it. It'll be self-sustaining program. And so the students will benefit from very low rents, and we will benefit from being able to have the funding to bring in the supports to support students and everything that they need for their housing experience.
Awesome. So there's questions about other, are we going to take this now that we've proven this model elsewhere? And there is good news on that. So I was asked to join a bill. One of my other colleagues wanted to lead the bill on West Valley. And we tried 1 year, didn't pass. And then I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Assemblyman Mark Berman led that effort and did pass it in West Valley Mission Community College District. So the governor signed that one. I'm not sure exactly when it takes effect. I'll have to check that and see if anyone else has an update on that. Please let us know. So we are promoting this model now more broadly. And when I present this bill in the Senate next year, the new bill, it'll be a chance to talk about the success, because every time we present a bill, of course, we're educating people, my colleagues. You also mentioned the website. Do you want to give information on the website? What is the website? You mentioned the free, what is the
Our free college website?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the URL handy, but
I'm sure Vice Chancellor McVean does. Do you have it there?
I'm sure he does, yeah.
I do. It's freecollegeimpact.smccd.edu. We can put it in the chat or the Q&A as well. And that we really highlight some of the things we've talked about, the number of students we've served, the impact on completion. You can also see some of our student testimonials there, and then hear directly from the students who've been benefiting, including our current student trustee, who sits on our board as well and is involved in statewide boards as well, and is also benefiting from free college. So lots of great information there. And then it can also direct you to, if you're interested, on how you can apply to one of the colleges and also benefit from free college.
Yeah, Aaron, if I can chip in and just offer that the extension here. We've all talked about economic mobility a bit, but I want to make sure we hear it's not abstract. I mean, economic mobility is a person here in San Mateo County doubling their earning potential within 5 years of graduating. That's a real number, and I'm very proud and excited to hear about this district and the ranking that came out earlier in the fall, that the colleges in this district are well known within the state for providing that return on investment. And again, that's a testament to free college. So
yeah,
that's
will you say that again, President Carter? What was that number again? You said the doubling. What was the
Yeah, doubling earning potential within 5 years of graduating is part of there's various ways, but it's one way to look at return on investment.
Mm.
And there was an independent study done in the state of community colleges that perform well at that metric. In Skyline College and College of San Mateo and Cañada were ranked high. And that to me is just another reason that supports the value of the work that's done.
Excellent. Just looking at these other questions, some degrees. Um,
Hey, Josh, can I make a point about the longer term strategy that you and I have discussed? And I think it's it's really exciting to see this impact. So the next step is to produce a report, which Dr. McVean's been working on, and our board will finalize this week. We'll deliver that report to the legislature in the coming weeks as part of the rollout of the new Becker bill to make to the second step, which is to make free college permanent in San Mateo County. As you said, other basic aid funded districts, which is about 15% of the community college districts around the state, who have fairly high level property tax basis. West Valley Mission is one. Others are looking at it, and the key here is in those districts there wouldn't be an impact to the general fund. And I'll tell a fun vignette. I met with the governor when Josh's bill had made it to the governor's desk, and asked for him to sign it. And at the time, he was burdened, he said, with 700 bills that cost $17 billion in unfunded mandates. And so we had to emphasize in the meeting that this bill would have no general fund cost impact. That said, if you were to expand free college statewide to all the districts, including the 85% of districts that are funded in traditional apportionment basis under like K-12 processes, I estimated it would cost about $500 million. So it's an expensive proposition for the state, and in the current general fund environment, not one that I would recommend we pursue right now. But the next step in the strategy is get the report done, get it permanent for San Mateo County, continue to show the results and the impacts that the presidents have been talking about here, hopefully have other districts adopt the model the way West Valley Mission has. And then a few years down the road, as you said, Senator, when we've educated the world on the incredible impacts and in fact the financial benefits to the state, we can then have a real debate about how to allocate general fund resources towards this policy statewide.
Awesome. We'll get a few more questions. I'm going to give you each, though, a chance to wrap up. Just give like a 1 minute or so wrap up, and I'm going to be right back. Just kind of closing thoughts.
Well, I'll go ahead and start because I think that the impact is the most important thing here. And I think the state has struggled with initiatives to address the equity gaps that we have among our student populations and especially our most marginalized populations. And to me, seeing that impact has been mind-blowing, unexpected. And it is, again, I said this earlier, it has moved the needle more than any other initiative that's come across our desk from the state chancellor's office. And so to be able to bring in first generation students for the first time from our most marginalized communities. And it's just, I love that this is really having a generational impact and changing our communities.
I think I would just say again that it's one of the single most powerful, effective tools for economic mobility in our region. And that's just unquestionable. So it's not just education policy, it's a real difference maker that allows families and people from all walks of life to access higher education in a life-transforming way. And in this county, that's very important.
I'll just mention, for me, it really hit home to me how simple the message is, but how impactful actually the results are. When I was meeting with about a group, I know Olivia is actually on the Zoom call, and Olivia and I were meeting with a group of about 75 middle schoolers. I think it was this a couple of days ago, and they're fifth and sixth graders. And I was talking to them about, is this the first time you've been to Kenyatta College? And their hands raised. And I just said, you know what? I want you to go home and I want you to tell your parents that you can go to college because here it's free. Like, you don't have to pay for anything. And I'm like, can you all remember that? And they're like, yeah. So I just love the fact that it's getting the message out. It's so important, and it's especially important to start with the youngest of our, kids in the county, and also their parents.
Yeah, I love that, Kim, you're referencing your college recruiter, Olivia, and like her experiences there. And similarly at College of San Mateo, what I would say is that it is undeniable that free college is a social justice resource. It is a tool. It is an equitizer in every sense of the word. It is not lost on me that when I go out sometimes to table with our folks or I talk to community members, it takes a few times of saying, no, it's free. And no, it's free. No, it is at no cost to you if you live in the county. And it is not lost on me how much we are doing to contribute to a systems change in higher education in our California community colleges. That is undeniable, and it's going to take repeating several times. Many ways that in similar ways, I think when this becomes permanent, because I'm manifesting that it will, I'm going to manifest, this is happening right now for all of us, that we will have to remind folks that this is real and it's happening. And we have to take steps towards this journey if we're going to undo all of the mechanisms that have kept many of our communities under-resourced.
Yeah, really quick, San Mateo County is my home and it has my heart. And so this investment in our communities, the access that it provides, I think is just one of the most transformative things that we can do as a community college district. Community college changed my life as it did with so many of my colleagues, as you heard. And so, just being able to provide that opportunity to the families, the communities, the students in San Mateo County is just, it's the best. And so we just thank you so much, Senator Becker, for supporting us in this bill and to make free college permanent. It's amazing what's been able to accomplish. And turn it over to Trustee Pimentel for his last thoughts.
Oh, well, thank you. I have to say this is the highlight of my service as a trustee, to hear the team and the whole college community embrace the free college movement. I would say, Josh, your leadership and that of the legislature and the governor in helping us, authorizing us to make this decision and reallocate our existing funds is tremendous, and thank you for that. And my final thought would just be that as we are in an increasingly difficult government situation where people are polarized and resources are scarce, something that we can all get behind and that we can all unify around is the concept of free college. And Bernie Sanders has been talking about it for a generation, but this team, this district, this faculty, and this legislature and state government has made it happen, at least in our county. And I'm very proud of that. And at the end of the day, free community college is, I believe, the most effective and efficient investment that government can make in achieving social equity. Thank you.
Well, wonderful final thoughts. And as you all note, it couldn't happen without our faculty and staff. So just tremendous thank you to the faculty and staff of the district. And my final thought is along those lines, which is everyone's talking affordability, and this is affordability, right? This is affordability, like free college. So, when everyone's sort of grasping for this topic of affordability, we're executing on it here, which is tremendous. Thanks to all of you. With that, we hit 6 o'clock. We're going to wrap up. Thank you for all your work. Good luck to the CSM student athletes down in Orange County on Saturday. Well, I'll be cheering for you, and maybe we'll have the folks back up in the Capitol again. So thank you very